Let's return to the news of the day. And today marks 2 years since violence erupted in Israel and Gaza. Anniversaries like this can stir up heavy emotions for many people all around the world. Processing the feelings can be a challenge. And to talk about it, a registered psychologist is with us. She joins us from St. John's. Time to time, we do this on the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what's the human experience of for individuals coping with grief on anniversaries of traumatic events?
In some ways, it's important to look at, we have both a collective anniversary happening, just in terms of the news cycle and really, really heavy news stories for even those of us who weren't directly impacted. But then for those who were impacted or continue to be impacted, anniversaries often kind of cause a resurgence of a lot of thoughts and emotions and memories. And especially when it's very early on, it's often very unpleasant reactions and thoughts. It's kind of later that you can perhaps have, fonder memories of perhaps loved ones that have been lost. But really wanting to normalize and let people know that it's very, very typical on an anniversary to have a surge of whether it's emotional reaction, whether it's a physical reaction, and to be kind to yourself and be okay with sitting in some of those emotions and acknowledging them.
Can you help us understand the emotion of despair? Because I think that when we're on a personal level, there's different strategies. But when you look at something like, a 2-year anniversary of what happened on October 7th, and then you think about today, people are going to wake up, they might turn on the radio, they're going to hear about peace talks yesterday that were hopeful, but then also not hopeful. They're going to hear about things changing and then also maybe feel like they're not changing. They're going to look at all the people that, have died in Palestine and also those who are still hostages on both sides being held. And they may not be able to find the hope. So how do you deal with the despair, and do you just avoid the news?
Well, I would definitely avoid social media. Because of the unfiltered nature and the far more where it's likely to be opinions that may or may not be fully informed. But it's knowing what's right for you, but stepping away from a lot of it. So finding maybe it is a way to do a tribute to loved ones or lost experiences, and maybe it's taking a look at photos. Maybe it is saying, no, you know what? I need to really protect myself because I'm feeling very fragile. So I'm going to make a point of being able to just go and, have a walk with a friend or go and do something where I am not surrounded by news and people and opinions. And maybe it's I just need to go somewhere and have a really big cry. And that's okay. That's, again, part of that processing, because despair, a lot of it comes from those feelings of helplessness and hopelessness. And again, the longer things continue, that certainly can increase it. So right now, sit with the emotions. If you need to avoid them, avoid them. But then kind of move through it with okay, I can't fix the world situation, but is there something tiny that I can do? Either to be engaging in self-care or reaching out to somebody else or working within my community. What are little things that I can do to feel just a tiny bit more optimistic or in control?
It's interesting because I know you said to avoid social media. I actually posted on social media asking people their greatest hope and fear 2 years since October 7th. One of the listeners wrote in, Dave Nickar said, my greatest hope is for peace. My greatest fear is that it's much more likely Israel will keep up their genocide no matter what's agreed to. And of course, people weighing in with their perspectives all over this. I wonder whether or not, engaging with others, depending on the person, can help you or harm you. I don't know if there's an answer to that, because for some people it might feel like you want to talk about it. Other people might be the opposite.
I think for an anniversary, you want to be very careful selecting your audience because you are so much more vulnerable at that time. A week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, engage whoever you want to online. But right now, having someone who at least is able to support you, they might not agree with you, but at least has your back and is supportive of you. That would be someone I would be reaching out to if it's important for you to talk about the situation.
Thank you very much, Janine. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Janine Hubbard is a psychologist. I reached her this morning, 2 years since October 7th. Of course, we'll have much coverage on the ground.